Still not done painting, as you can see. It's still a little bit clearer. I've got some touch up on the orange to do. Let's touch up on the brown. So we're still plugging away. So right now I'm starting to put the interior details in and start getting things into place as we finish up the painting on the outside of the building. Again, these walls aren't correct for prototype, but you know, again, this isn't going to be in a high profile location where people are going to be able to look into the building and verify the details with the prototype. Okay, with these windows, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this part. The side window here, this is going to get cut, and I'll use both parts for there and there. And that's not too terribly tricky, and this is straightforward, and it's just going to be right there. But then these are too small because that's where the drive-up windows used to be. So I'm going to cut these. Cut off right here. Cut off the center section, then cut this in half. And then butt this up against this and make it one contiguous unit. First, after this dries, I'm going to try put a black border on the inside of this of the frame, and I don't know how that's going to work because my hand is not that steady and I don't have that kind of patience, but we're going to give it a try. The other thing I did is I bought 1/4 inch L channel. And what I'm going to do here is make a makeshift interior. Benches. Benches and chairs. And then I'm going to take a piece of I-beam. I'm going to cut it to the same length. I used 4 feet for those, and they're still crude, but then I'm going to use this. I'm going to chop off the bottom of this here. And we're going to make it a table. So these will be one color. The seats will be probably brown. This will be a contrasting color, some lighter color, beige probably. And that'll give us an interior.
So this little, I sort of jumped around while I was doing this, going back and forth between making the roof and putting the interior details on. So the video, if you follow it closely, is a little bit out of order. But what I did was started planning the roof detail, this little metal feature that they put around the exterior of the building. And that again was cutting up some sheet plastic to the proper height. And the plan was to mount it to the front of the building using L bracket and silicone glue. Now, to get the right look of this plastic, what I ended up doing is starting out by the sharp end of a file, but I ended up using the blunt end of my knife and just bending a crease into the plastic in order to get an X shape that you can see in the photos around the perimeter of the building. And then between each X, I took a little piece of styrene, and again, it's that metal styrene that you use for the metal roofs. I've got 1,000 miles of that stuff sitting around in my storage, and gluing that piece where you see the little pen mark lines on the plastic there that I marked for their locations, and then spray painted it. So here you see the semi-finished product with the folds in it. A little hard to see there, but once it gets painted, it really becomes obvious. Okay, so here's our interior, people. Probably gonna have to put a light in here somewhere. So about that later. As the whole. Okay, so here's what our roof sheet metals look like. I was going to use this side, but I think I'm going to use the scratch side. And then so I painted off a piece of red. not knowing what I was doing made this a little bit more of a fiddly project than it needed to be, but in the end, the simple solution was to do one elevation first and then let it completely dry, and then do the other two elevation, or do another elevation, let it dry, do another elevation, let it dry. So while the roof pieces were drying, I took this strip styrene and I'm using it to do basically casework and finish up some of these unfinished looking edges by putting a curb around the base of the building and some trim around the architectural features, just to give it some highlight and depth. And you see down there, and actually the front, I had to double up on the front pieces because there was a difference in thickness when I put the planter box in there with the brick on it. If you look real close at the building where the man is stating, I put another little piece of eye bracket painted silver like stainless steel and made it look like the guy was standing in front of the world famous salsa bar that is highlighted on the banners in front of the building. A couple other details you can see that I'm continuing to clean up the paint around the building. The doors look a little bit cleaner, the red is looking a little bit cleaner, and I don't think I spent a lot of detail on it in this video, but when all this is said and done, I paint the base of the concrete, concrete color. On an older project and elsewhere, I actually put up a menu board on the back of the building when I discovered that those little details are never going to be seen. So if you feel ambitious and you're that much of a detail-oriented person, just print up a menu and glue it to the wall. And so I think this detail will be the last of this video. In the next video, we will continue with the roof and then put on the exterior details, bringing the project to a close. Appreciate you taking some time out watching my video, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.